missed the tequila party last night, but you know.
I think it was worth it.
It was worth it, yeah.
I drank a lot of that 1907 Madeira last night.
It had a lot of layers, that wine.
Yeah, I mean, it was coconut, it was nutmeg, espresso.
Yeah, it was really layered, wasn't it?
I think the 88 has so much acidity, it can be incredible, but it's more hit or miss finish.
The 88 has a huge amount of acidity.
No, that's absolutely right. 96 though is the vintage to buy. For anyone out there, buy 96 champagne all day. If you can't afford that, buy 02. If you can't afford that, drink fucking beer.
The best way to taste high-end wine is a sous group, because there's power in numbers. Wines are really, really expensive, and so our group meet 8 times a year. Each time one member hosts and does the wines from his cellar.
Make you guys drink too much together.
Where the Angry Men name came from is you get invited to a wine dinner and you bring a really nice, a great bottle of wine, okay? And everybody else brings shit wine, bad wine. And so you get very angry. And it was men who didn't want to be angry anymore, and everybody had to bring it, you know? You had to really bring it. My entry into Burgundy was a Rudy Kernion. There was an Angry Man that Rudy had invited me to. And that's where I met that whole gang. Their dinners were always over the top, crazy, breaking it out with like 100, 200 gram worth of wine in a night. It was pretty extraordinary.
What these guys actually had, it's what Americans call fuck you money. Well, I got a $3 million bonus. I'm gonna take $1 million of that and blow it. And that's their fuck you money. They're gonna do whatever they want with it. They don't care. There's no consequences. And it's a kind of money that most human beings never experience.
Uh-oh, here she comes.
The fine wine world, it's really mostly men. Especially when I was younger. I'd walk into the tastings and everybody would immediately ask, you know, whose date I was. But I had an important job. I ran a major auction house in New York. I bought like $50,000 worth of champagne in the last auction. And I got my clients and his daughters came over. So it was 2000 or early 2001. We were doing auctions and I started being aware of this kind of, you know, skinny, geeky, young guy that liked wine. At the time, he was somebody that was bidding on Paul-Meyer Merlot. Paul-Meyer Merlot sticks out in my mind with Rudy. You know, high quality wine, but, you know, it's got 1 0, not 4 zeros.
Oh, $1,600, $1,700, $1,800. $1,800 for the single bottle of La Tâche, 1985. $1,800 bid at 18.
What was really strange was 18 months later, he reached out to me on the telephone and said that he wanted to meet with me because he wanted to be a player in the auction scene. Which I found kind of odd because he had just been a geeky kid drinking California Merlot.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Rudy? Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? How are you? Very well. Good. I brought some wines for us to drink. Can you help me?
His breadth of knowledge seemed to be pretty extraordinary. He actually taught me, you know, almost everything I know.
He was a real cult figure. Everybody talked about him. He had this mysterious background. Where did he come from?
Part of what created his mythology was he has an extraordinary palate. The best palate of anyone I've ever met in my entire life. Any wine, from California to France, any type of wine, any vintage. Rudy was extremely, insanely, unbelievably correct on all the wines.
The art of wine tasting, it comes naturally, but you have to make an effort. You know, you really have to work at it. You taste wine blind, you identify the wine, and you know, it's that